Okay, so now I have an update video for you. Judge shuts down volleyball captain who sued to ban trans teammate from playing. So, a federal judge in Denver has rejected a request to ban a college volleyball player who is alleged to be transgender from competing with her team in a conference tournament beginning this week. Earlier this month, San Jose State University women's volleyball team captain Brooke Slusser filed a lawsuit along with SGSU associate head coach Melissa Bates Smoos and 10 other current and former Mountain West Conference players against the conference. The suit sought an emergency injunction to have an SGSU player who is alleged to be transgender declared ineligible to compete in the tournament. As the Associated Press notes, the player in question has competed at the college level for the past 3 seasons, including 2 seasons with the SGSU team. She drew little attention prior to recent allegations about her gender identity. While the defendants in the case have not denied the presence of a transgender woman on the SGSU team, according to the AP, the player in question has not commented on her gender identity publicly. Some media outlets have named the player, but LGBTQ Nation is not doing so. All right. Now, I've said this in previous videos about this. The fact that she's competed in the past 3 seasons, that she's a senior, this is her 4th year competing, and nobody said anything. Nobody had a problem with her being on the team. But now that shitting on trans people has become in vogue, suddenly everybody's coming out of the work declaring that they had a problem with her, but they never had a problem with her before. Okay. And I appreciate that because this player is not public with being trans, that LGBTQ Nation is not publishing her name. I mean, a part of me is curious as to which player is trans, but at the end of the day, what does it matter? She doesn't have a natural advantage. So, I mean, people keep bringing up that she caused a concussion in practice on another player, which she didn't. So, yeah, there is no evidence that she has an unfair advantage. She has taken the hormone test. She has the correct amount of testosterone. She's within the guidelines. So, yeah, what advantage does she have? She doesn't. On Monday, U.S. Magistrate Judge S. Cato Cruz denied the plaintiff's request on the basis of its emergency nature. The court finds the movants' delay was not reasonable. There is no evidence to suggest they were precluded from seeking emergency relief earlier, and the rush to litigate these complex issues now over a mandatory injunction places a heavy lift on the MWC at the 11th hour, Cruz wrote, according to ESPN. Now, basically he's saying, yeah, it's rather suspicious that all of a sudden you have a problem with this person when you could have brought this up at any time. Several teams, including those from South Utah University, Boise State University, Utah State University, and Wyoming University, had previously forfeited their matches against SGSU this season over the alleged trans player. The lawsuit also sought to have the losses accrued from those forfeits vacated. Cruz, however, said that the teams were aware that those forfeits would amount to losses at the time and denied the request to vacate them and reseed the tournament. Again, yes, the teams knew what they were doing. They were willing to take the L. So, what's the problem? All right. The lawsuit claimed that the plaintiff's Title IX and First Amendment rights were violated by having a transgender woman on the team and that she posed a safety risk to other players. Cruz did not address those claims in his ruling. However, he did reportedly note that several recent circuit court decisions have cited the Supreme Court's ruling that discrimination on the basis of transgender status or sexual orientation amounts to sex-based discrimination, which is prohibited under Title IX. Now, I still do not understand where the First Amendment rights come in. I mean, I kind of sort of get the Title IX thing. I mean, I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from. But what First Amendment rights are of yours are being violated? That so far I have not found an answer to. In a statement, San Jose State University said that it would continue to support its student athletes and reject discrimination in all forms. All San Jose State University student athletes are eligible to participate in their sports under NCAA and Mountain West Conference rules, the statement continued. We are gratified that the court rejected an 11th-hour attempt to change those rules. Our team looks forward to competing in the Mountain West Volleyball Tournament this week. Both ESPN and the AP reported that the plaintiffs had filed a notice for emergency appeal with the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Such a mess. I'm really curious what would happen if this makes it all the way to the Supreme Court. But with this court the way it is, I'm worried what the results would be. Now, I am curious though if it's just a rumor. I'm now uncertain. Is this just a rumor or is this woman really trans? Because, I mean, I get that she doesn't want to publicly out herself, but it's just very strange that so many people are willing to out her for her. It's just, it makes you wonder, are these people just claiming that she's trans? But then again, the coach did make it sound like she is trans, so maybe she is. And yeah, it's just a mess. And I hope that this girl is able to play volleyball, because this is just, like I said, and like the judge said, you had plenty of time to bring this up. Why are you bringing it up now? This isn't a matter of it's making its way through the courts and by the time it made its way, it's been 4 years. No, they're only bringing this up now, which means that they only saw that the environment is ripe for shitting on trans people. So let's see what we can accomplish. And I don't know why this captain has her nose bent out of shape with this girl. If, I don't know if she's lesbian and she shot her down, or she's jealous of how good of a player she is. I honestly have no idea why her nose is so bent out of shape that she's attacking this girl now that it's cool to hate on trans people. Or if she just wants notoriety or something. I mean, I have no idea why this captain is doing it. I do not care. She's obviously an opportunist, and she's just trying to get ahead. Because why else would you wait 4 years to attack your teammate? Because it sounds like people knew she was trans before this. It's not like they only discovered this year. And considering she's the captain, most likely she's the same class as this girl. So chances are really, really good that she knew. So why wait 4 years? It makes zero sense. Now, the other teams, it's entirely possible they had no clue. But the fact that nobody had a clue should kind of clue you in that this girl did not have an unfair advantage. Because if she did, people would have figured it out by now. It wouldn't have taken 4 years to realize that this girl is having an unfair advantage. They might accuse her of doping and not being trans, but there is that possibility. But the fact that nobody said anything until now stinks to high heaven, because all you're doing is saying, oh, it's a good environment to shit on trans people. Well, we've got a trans person we can shit on. It's just maddening. And it just tells you what despicable people these people are. Because if this woman really did have an unfair advantage, it would have been apparent by now. And people would have said something. Coaches, players, whatever. Not necessarily on her own team, but coaches or players. But the fact is, they're not doing that. And they're not doing that because there was never an issue. Anyway, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.